We are live. Come on in. Say hi. I am Nakia Gray. I am the creator and founder of the Beyond the Bar Institute. And I just had to get on live today to talk about something that has been really the topic of conversation for, I guess, about a month now. So it all started about a month ago. I sent an email, a very um, transparent email to my email list. And I basically said, it was around Thanksgiving. And I was just honest with my list. I said, there's a lot to be thankful for. I'm choosing to be thankful. But this year kind of sucked. This was a really rough year for me, for many of my clients. And I really felt like there's like this unspoken thing happening where no one's kind of talking about this recession. It's kind of a silent recession. People aren't really talking about it, but folks are struggling. And I hit a place in my practice where a lot of people were missing payments. People were asking me for longer payment plan options, different payment plan options. A lot of my clients were feeling the pinch, which meant that me as a business owner, that I was feeling a pinch. And I just wanted to say it because I feel like, why is nobody talking about this? It's like, business as usual when the facts are, it's actually not business as usual. And for a lot of small business owners and even people who don't own businesses, groceries are higher. We're paying for all kinds of things. And so I just wanted to be open about that and like just open myself up to say, look, I know on social media it may look like my life is great, but I'm a little stressed. And so I'm so glad that I did that. So, sidebar, if you have not taken an opportunity to let your audience know, really be intimate with them and show them, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do it because your people are waiting for you to take off the lawyer hat and the Miss Buttoned Up perfection. They want you to be real with them so that they can relate to you and connect with you. So if you haven't done that, here's your opportunity. Listen to me and do it. Okay. So in doing that, I also invited everyone to just respond and tell me, how they were feeling, what was going on. For days, I was checking emails, reading emails, responding, engaging in just some very poignant conversations. Is that a word? Poignant, poignant. Let me take the lawyer hat off. Some very real, real talk conversations with people. And I will say that, and many of the lawyers that are in my community have been very open about the stress that a lot of lawyers are under. And so I get that. I understand it. I relate to it more than you may know. But here's what I came up with that I thought about. And I've had this conversation with at least probably 10 to 12 lawyers at this point to change their perspective on this. And they thanked me. And so I want to share it with you. So if you look at your numbers in a vacuum, right? So if you are just looking at, I'll say for myself, even my first quarter of this year compared to my fourth quarter of this year, normally I see a boost. My second half of the year has traditionally been better than my first half. This is the first year since I've been in business that was not the case. Okay. So, but if you look at it in a vacuum and you're saying, okay, well, I am normally running, my run rate is whatever it is, 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K, whatever it is a month. And November, October, September, November, December, it's not shaking out that way. Or if you're comparing your 2023 numbers to your 2022 numbers, and you're like, we're down, a lot of attorneys have told me 20%, 30%, 40, some as much as 40% numbers are down. And so if you just look at that, you'll be depressed going into this holiday. You will leave this year like wondering how you're going to make it, wondering if you're going to need to lay off staff, wondering what next year is going to bring. You'll be stressed the heck out. Okay. But I got something to tell you. Your numbers may not be, they could be, but they may not necessarily be as bad as you think. And here is why. 2022, 2021, even 2020, for many of us were amazing. Okay. There's a lot to be said about all of and I do not want to take that lightly or take away from the things that weren't so great about the pandemic, right? Like there are a lot of people that lost their lives, people lost jobs, several industries were hit really, really hard. But for many of us, that was not necessarily the case, right? So let's go back, rewind, to 2020, March of 2020, the world shuts down. We've got this pandemic. But what did we have during that time? We had a lot more time to market, right? So we were a little bit, I'm not gonna say a little bit, a lot more focused about, we were also a little desperate and worried about where our next client was gonna come from. So we were pulling out all the stops. So we were a little bit more dedicated. I'll say for myself for sure. We also had the government, okay? Raise your hand, raise it high, raise two of them if you were fortunate enough to get a PPP loan that ended up being forgiven. Those injections into our business are things that had never happened before. Okay. I don't know about you, but ain't nobody in my family write me a check and say, here, baby, go, invest in marketing, hire a team, take some of those big dreams that you have and put them, get them out into the world. I've never had that. So I started my business, started my law firm right out of law school. So I was brokered and broke. Okay. So having that, it catapulted us, to be able to have that money. The other thing that we had that you can't discount is there were stimulus checks that went to, for many of us, those are the people who are our clients. We are serving the public. We are serving people. And so they had more money. And some of them are business owners too. So they had PPP and maybe a stimulus. So they were happy to invest in legal services. If you are a woman of color in particular, or even a man of color, there was a huge push after George Floyd was murdered and we had the Black Lives Matter movement. There was a huge national push to support Black-owned businesses. I received Facebook had a Black business grant that they gave out to Black-owned businesses. I was a recipient of that grant. I had many clients who received lots of different grants. Major companies were giving money, could not get rid of it fast enough to Black-owned businesses. So we also received that. And not only even if you didn't receive it directly, possibly someone who ended up hiring you did, right? Maybe a client received one or someone in their family. So there was a lot of money flowing in 2020 and even in 2021. And so even though things kind of got back to normal in 2021, 2022 for sure, by then things were pretty much back to normal, but there was still the overflow of the pandemic and those efforts. So if you were like me and you used your PPP loan to expand, to invest in marketing, to put out new products and services, to build your team, the fruits of that labor you were still reaping in 2022. Okay. And so I'm telling you this because I want to give you the perspective that it may not be as bad as you think. If you look at your homework, and I want you to do this and report back to me, okay? Your homework is to compare your 2023 numbers, not the 22, not the 21, not the 20, but the 2019. I want you to look at because 2019 is what I would say was our last normal year, okay? So if you compare your 2023 numbers to your 2019 numbers, send me a message, DM me, put it under the comments here. Find a way to get in touch with me and tell me, do you still feel the same way? And I'm telling you this because 99% of the lawyers that I told to do this have come back and said, oh my goodness, Nakia, thank you so much. We're actually doing better than we did in 2019. Okay, so you may not be where as bad off as you think you are. Okay, and so you gotta change your mindset. You've gotta look. Feelings are not facts. Okay, Feelings are not facts. You may feel down in the dumps. You may feel like this was, a messed up year. You may feel that things are going south, but they may not be. Okay. And so don't throw in the towel. Do that homework that I just told you. Come back and report to me. And I want you to mark your calendar for January 6th. On January 6th, I am hosting a free FREE law practice business planning workshop to help you focus on 2024. Let's get some marketing. And I'm talking about we are going to go all in on our marketing. Y'all know how I feel about marketing. It's the stuff that lawyers hate, but I'm going to help you do it. Okay. We're going to make 2024 a new normal. Okay. And so we're going to go into it with fresh eyes and not thinking bad or feeling down about 2023. Okay. So two things. Three things. One, compare your 2023 numbers to 2019. Two, get in touch with me and tell me what you have found out. What's the aha moment or your takeaway from that? And then three, mark your calendar for January 6th. I'll be dropping the registration. My team and I are working on it. Actually, I'm the one holding things up. So hopefully Wednesday we'll have the registration up for the January 6th, but just save the date of January 6th and plan to kill it in 2024. 2023 is almost done. We got 2 more weeks. Okay. But I don't want you to leave this year feeling bad about yourself or questioning whether you can survive in your law practice, because I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. You are going to. In 2024, we bring it down the house. Okay. Let's go. All right. I'll be looking to see and hear from you as to what you found out. All right.